Gas stations are ripping you off every single time you fill up, and they're hoping you never figure out these tricks. What if I told you there's a way to cut your fuel costs by almost 30% without buying a new car or changing your entire lifestyle? Stick around, because some of these secrets are so simple you'll kick yourself for not knowing them sooner. Look, I get it. Every time you pull up to the pump and watch those numbers spin faster than your bank account can handle, it stings. Gas prices are insane right now, and it feels like there's nothing we can do about it. But here's the thing. The big fuel companies don't want you to know that you actually have way more control over your fuel costs than you think. I've spent weeks digging into industry secrets, talking to mechanics, and testing these methods myself. And today, I'm sharing everything with you. No fluff, no BS, just real strategies that actually work. By the end of this video, you're going to have a completely different approach to fueling up your car. So let's jump right into it. Before we get into the secrets, let's talk about why this even matters. The average person in America spends around $1,500 to $2,000 per year just on gas. That's a vacation. That's a down payment on something important. That's money that could be in your pocket instead of going straight to multi-billion-dollar corporations who are already making record profits. And here's what makes it worse. Most of us are making simple mistakes that are literally pouring money down the drain. We're talking about habits you probably do every single day without even thinking about them. But once you understand how fuel actually works and how these companies operate, you can flip the script entirely. First secret, and this one's going to sound weird, but hear me out. Fill up your tank early in the morning or late at night. Here's why this matters. Gasoline is stored in underground tanks at gas stations. When it's hot outside during the middle of the day, that fuel expands. When it's cooler in the early morning or late evening, it contracts and becomes denser. You're charged by volume, not density. So when you fill up during cooler hours, you're actually getting more fuel for the same price because it's more compact. Is it a huge difference? Maybe not massive on a single tank, but over a year of filling up, we're talking about saving real money. Plus, gas stations are usually less crowded during these times, so you're saving time too. Stop squeezing that nozzle trying to get every last drop into your tank after it clicks off. Seriously, stop doing this. When the pump clicks off, it's designed to shut off at the optimal fill level. When you keep topping it off, you're actually forcing liquid fuel into the vapor recovery system. That fuel doesn't go into your tank, it goes back into the station's storage. You're literally paying for gas that you're not getting. On top of that, overfilling can damage your car's evaporative emission system, which can lead to expensive repairs down the line. The pump clicks for a reason. Trust it and move on. This one surprises a lot of people. Unless your car specifically requires premium fuel, and I mean the manufacturer explicitly states it in your owner's manual, you're wasting money buying premium gas. The whole premium is better for your engine thing is mostly marketing. Most modern cars are designed to run perfectly fine on regular 87 octane fuel. Premium fuel doesn't make your car run better, cleaner, or last longer unless your engine specifically needs it. We're talking about a difference of 50 to 70 cents per gallon in some areas. Fill up once a week, and that's an extra $150 to $200 a year you're throwing away for absolutely no benefit. Check your owner's manual right now. If it says recommended premium, that usually means regular is fine. If it says required, then yeah, use premium. I know you don't want to hear this, but your speed is killing your fuel economy. Here's the science behind it. Your car's fuel efficiency peaks at around 50 to 60 miles per hour for most vehicles. Once you go past that, your fuel economy drops dramatically because of air resistance. At 80 miles per hour, you're using about 20% more fuel than at 60. Think about that for a second. If you're spending $2,000 a year on gas and driving fast everywhere, you could save $400 just by slowing down a bit. I'm not saying you need to drive like someone's grandma in the slow lane, but if you're constantly pushing 80 or 85 on the highway, dropping down to 65 or 70 is going to make a noticeable difference in your fuel costs. Plus, it's safer and you'll get fewer speeding tickets. This is probably the most overlooked fuel-saving trick out there. Underinflated tires create more rolling resistance, which means your engine has to work harder, which means you burn more fuel. Studies show that keeping your tires properly inflated can improve your fuel economy by up to 3%. That might not sound like much, but it adds up. Plus, proper tire pressure makes your tires last longer, gives you better handling, and is safer overall. Check your tire pressure at least once a month. The recommended pressure is on a sticker inside your driver's door or in your owner's manual. Don't go by what's written on the tire itself. That's the maximum pressure, not the recommended pressure. And check it when your tires are cold, before you've driven anywhere, because driving heats up the tires and gives you a false reading. If you're sitting in your car for more than 30 seconds and you're not in traffic, turn off your engine. The myth that starting your car uses more gas than idling is completely outdated. That was true for old carbureted engines from like 30 or 40 years ago. Modern fuel-injected engines use almost no fuel when starting up. Idling for 10 seconds uses more fuel than restarting your engine. If you're waiting to pick someone up, sitting in a drive-thru or parked somewhere, turn it off. This is especially important in winter when people let their cars warm up for 10 or 15 minutes. Your car warms up faster by driving it gently. You're literally burning money while your car sits there doing nothing. Every 100 pounds of extra weight in your car reduces your fuel economy by about 1 to 2%. Now look in your trunk. How much junk is sitting back there that you haven't touched in months? Golf clubs, tools, that bag of stuff you keep meaning to donate, random car parts, cases of water. All of that weight is making your engine work harder. Take 15 minutes and clean out your car. Keep only what you actually need for emergencies. A spare tire, jack, basic tools, maybe a first aid kit. Everything else is costing you money. And if you have a roof rack or cargo carrier that you're not using, take it off. Those things create massive air resistance and can reduce your fuel economy by up to 25% on the highway. Cruise control isn't just for comfort, it's a fuel-saving tool. When you're manually controlling your speed, you're constantly making tiny adjustments with the gas pedal. Speed up a bit, coast a bit, speed up again. Those constant changes burn more fuel. Cruise control maintains a steady speed, which is way more efficient. This is especially true on flat highways. Now, if you're driving in hilly or mountainous areas, cruise control can actually hurt your fuel economy because it'll downshift and gun the engine to maintain speed going uphill. In those situations, it's better to let your speed drop a bit on uphills and coast on downhills. But for flat highway driving, cruise control is your friend. The way you drive has a massive impact on fuel consumption. Aggressive acceleration, flooring it from every stoplight, absolutely destroys your fuel economy. When you mash the gas pedal, your engine dumps way more fuel into the cylinders than necessary. Same thing with hard braking. If you're constantly speeding up and slamming on the brakes, you're wasting the energy you just spent accelerating. Instead, accelerate smoothly and gradually. Look ahead and anticipate when you'll need to slow down or stop. If you see a red light up ahead, take your foot off the gas early and coast to a stop instead of driving full speed and then braking hard at the last second. This style of driving is called hypermiling, when people take it to the extreme. But even just being more conscious of your acceleration and braking can improve your fuel economy by 10 to 20%. This is pure business strategy, and it's so obvious once you think about it. Gas stations right off highway exits charge more because they can. You're on a road trip, your tank's getting low, you're gonna pay whatever they're asking because you need gas now. But stations just a few miles off the highway, in regular neighborhoods or business areas, are often 10 to 30 cents cheaper per gallon because they're competing with other local stations. If you're planning a road trip, use apps like Gas Buddy to find cheaper stations along your route. Sometimes driving an extra mile or two to a cheaper station saves you $3 to $5 on a fill-up. Do that enough times and you're looking at real savings. Running your AC can reduce your fuel economy by up to 25%, especially in stop-and-go traffic. That's huge. Now, I'm not saying you should suffer through summer heat to save a few bucks, but be smart about it. When you first get in a hot car, roll down the windows for the first minute or two to let the hot air escape before cranking the AC. Once you're on the highway, windows up and AC on is actually more efficient than windows down because open windows create drag. But in city driving at lower speeds, windows down is more efficient than AC. Also, Parking in the shade whenever possible keeps your car cooler so your AC doesn't have to work as hard. This seems obvious, but most people skip regular maintenance. A poorly maintained car burns more fuel, period. Dirty air filters restrict airflow to your engine, making it work harder. Old spark plugs don't burn fuel efficiently. Using the wrong grade of motor oil creates more friction in your engine. Getting regular oil changes, replacing your air filter when it's dirty, and keeping up with basic maintenance can improve your fuel economy by 4 to 10%. Plus, you avoid expensive repairs down the line. Think of it this way. Spending $50 on an oil change and air filter might save you $200 in fuel costs over the next few months. Not to mention preventing a $2,000 repair because you ignored your check engine light. This is about strategy, not driving technique. Every time you start your car from cold, it uses more fuel because the engine isn't at optimal operating temperature yet. Those first few minutes of driving are the least efficient. So instead of making 3 separate trips throughout the day, running to the grocery store, then coming home, then going to the bank, then coming home, then going to pick up dinner, plan your route, and do everything in one trip, your engine stays warm, you drive fewer total miles, and you save both time and money. It takes a bit of planning, but the savings add up fast. So there you have it, 13 secrets that gas stations and fuel companies definitely don't advertise because every single one of these cuts into their profits. The beauty of these strategies is that most of them cost you nothing to implement. You're not buying expensive gadgets or modifications. You're just being smarter about how you buy and use fuel. Let's do some quick math here. If you're spending $2,000 a year on gas, and you implement even half of these strategies moderately well, you could easily save $300 to $500 per year. That's real money. And if you're really disciplined about it, checking tire pressure, driving efficiently, timing your fill-ups, maintaining your car, some people report saving 30% or more on their fuel costs. The biggest takeaway here is this: you have way more control than you think. Stop accepting high fuel costs as just a fact of life. These companies are making billions while we're struggling to fill our tanks. Take back some of that power with these simple strategies. Hit subscribe if this helped you save some money.